Somewhere between $0 and $10 million, there's one moment where your entire relationship with money flips. And it's not when you become a millionaire. It happens way before that, and almost nobody talks about it. If you've ever checked your bank balance before buying a coffee, you know the feeling. Every purchase has this little tax on it, a tiny moment of math of, can I actually do this? And you assume that feeling just goes away once you have enough. Once you hit some big round number, the anxiety disappears and life gets easy. That's the dream, right? Here's the thing. Most financial content sells you the wrong milestone. They obsess over the millionaire number because it sounds impressive and it gets clicks. But $1 million isn't where your life actually changes. The real shift, the one that determines whether the rest of this journey feels like a grind or a ride, happens way earlier, and it's a number most people walk past without noticing. Take someone at zero or even negative net worth, student loans, maybe a little credit card debt. They assume they're behind, but plenty of people in that exact spot are actually fine. They just haven't built momentum yet. Now, picture someone who finally hits $100,000 saved. They think, I made it, I'm rich now. But here's where it gets interesting. They're still checking prices at the grocery store, still feeling that same tiny tax on every purchase. Nothing actually changed yet. Jump ahead to $1 million. Surely that's freedom, right? Except plenty of people with seven figures are still working 50-hour weeks because their lifestyle quietly grew right alongside their net worth. The number went up, but the feeling didn't, and even at $10 million, the number everyone assumes equals done forever. Most people in that bracket are still actively managing money, still making decisions, just at a different scale. So if none of those big numbers are the turning point, what is? It's the moment your money starts earning more in a year than you can comfortably save from your paycheck. For most people, that happens somewhere in the low hundred thousands. Not the $1 million mark everyone's chasing. Think of it like pushing a boulder up a hill. From zero to that point, you're doing all the work. Every bit of progress comes from your own effort. But once the boulder crests the hill, gravity starts doing some of the pushing for you. You're still involved, but the terrain is finally working with you instead of against you. That shift is the line between what I call the 5 levels of net worth. Level 1 is survival. Net worth at or below zero, where every dollar is already spoken for. Level 2 is stability, roughly $0 to $100,000, where you're building the boulder and starting the climb. Level 3 is momentum, $100,000 to $1 million, where the boulder crests the hill and starts rolling on its own. Level 4 is freedom, $1 million to $5 million, where work becomes a choice, not a requirement. And level 5 is abundance, $5 million to $10 million and beyond, where the question stops being, do I have enough? And becomes, what do I actually want my life to look like? Take Sarah, 35. At 28, she had $4,000 in savings and felt like she was barely treading water. That's level 1 bleeding into level 2. By 33, she crossed $120,000, level 3, and noticed something strange. Her investment accounts grew by $9,000 that year without her adding a single extra dollar. That's money she never had to earn twice. Multiply that gap out over a decade, and the people who stay stuck below that threshold aren't just missing growth, and they're leaving tens of thousands of dollars of compounding on the table, money that's gone for good. But here's what happens next. Once you're past level 3, the challenge completely changes. It's no longer about earning more. It's about not accidentally undoing your progress through lifestyle creep. A bigger house, bigger car, I can afford it now. Purchases that quietly drag you back toward level 2 without you noticing. So that moment I mentioned at the start, the one that flips everything, it's not when you become a millionaire, it's the moment your money starts working as hard as you do. And once you know which level you're actually on, the next decision gets a lot easier. If you want, stick around for me, because next I'm breaking down exactly how long it takes to move from one level to the next and why some people skip levels entirely.